my name is Mike Olson. I'm with the Iowa Association of Business and Industry, and I can tell you that it's a pleasure for ABI, along with the Iowa State Building and Construction Trades Council and the Iowa Motor Truck Association, to join the Iowa Energy Forum and bringing this program to you today. Those are two organizations that have done a lot of great things for the state, the Motor Truck Association and the Building and Construction Trades Council, so we appreciate working with them today. ABI, many of you know, is Iowa's oldest and largest statewide business organization. We have about 1,400 member companies all over Iowa, and we work hard to make Iowa a good place for employers and for their employees. You've already heard a couple things about the energy industry in Iowa today, and all of us in this room know it's really important, and I'll echo what you've heard before from Brenda and Bill and Congressman Boswell, and that is that energy is an issue that we can all get together around, and we can all agree on as being important, and usually agree on what needs to be done. The energy industry is a key player in the state of Iowa when it comes to jobs, and that's something that's important to our organization and to everybody in the room. 58,000 jobs in the state are supported by the oil and natural gas industry, and many of you know that Iowa is the second largest wind producer in the United States, the largest producer per capita. And that's one of the reasons it's so important for all of us to be here today, to continue to promote and support energy policies that make for a great state of Iowa and really can help our country. And now we have the pleasure of hearing from another great leader. We've already heard from one, we get to hear from another, and it's really an honor for me to introduce our next speaker, Congressman Tom Latham. You can read Congressman Latham's bio in your program, so I won't read it to you, I won't go into it, but you all know that he's been a leader for the state for a long time. Before he was elected to Congress, first in 1995, Congressman Latham was a farmer and a small business owner, and we're probably biased in our organization, but we think those experiences helped him become an even more terrific congressman. One other thing that's key about Congressman Latham is that he's Iowa's only member on the House Appropriations Committee. You know how important that panel is in Congress and what it can do for our country and for our state. In fact, he chairs the House Appropriations Subcommittee on Transportation, Housing, and Urban Development. And all those things really pale in comparison to his commitment to Iowa and to service, and it is a true pleasure to introduce to you Congressman Tom Latham.
Thank you very much, Mike Ralston, for that kind introduction, just like I wrote it. What a great turnout, what an important event this is, and it's really a pleasure to be with you this afternoon and to be able to talk about an issue that is something of extraordinary importance to each and every one of us. Energy is the one thing that our economy cannot do without. It is something that is absolutely critical that we have in abundance, that we have here in the U.S. and produced here in the U.S. with American jobs, with American investment. I think we're all keenly aware today of our dependence on foreign sources of energy and the impact that that has had on our military, not only the hundreds of billions of dollars that we spend every year protecting those oil lanes coming into out of the Middle East, but more importantly, the blood and commitment of Americans who are involved in that part of the world simply because of our need to make sure that those lanes keep open and that our country has adequate supplies of energy. It is the issue, I think, that defines what America is today and what we could be in the future. It is extraordinarily important that we unite in this country, that we have a common goal of energy independence, domestically produced, right here. And that's why I think it's so important we have forums like this, bringing people together who maybe don't always agree on things, but for a common goal. We need, obviously, a comprehensive energy policy in this country. I remember very well, as probably, I don't know about you, Ralston, but I certainly remember back in 1973, waiting in line, rationing of gasoline, what that did to basically stop our economy. Everybody at that time says, well, this will never happen again because the United States is now going to become energy independent. We've learned our lesson. Well, OPEC turned on the spigot again, and we forgot about it. How many times has that happened? It is simply wrong, and it is a national disgrace that we do not have a comprehensive energy policy in this country. That policy has got to include oil and gas for the future. Anyone who doesn't believe for decades and decades that we are going to be primarily dependent upon fossil fuels doesn't understand what our economy is and what the reality is of our future in this country. Along with that, we've got to have a policy where we include other sources, obviously, of energy. When you look at clean coal, when you look at nuclear, when you look at the renewables, whether it be ethanol, whether it be biodiesel, whether it be geothermal, wind, all of those things have got to be part of a comprehensive energy policy in this country. Last year, I was named to a task force in the House of Representatives. They call it HEAT, it's the House Energy Action Team, and that's to isolate, find answers, find solutions to our energy problems today. And we have passed legislation after legislation after legislation that would actually open up our reserves here in the United States itself to allow expedited permitting for use on federal lands. There has been an increase in production in the U.S., but it's all been on state and private land. There's actually been about a 17% reduction in production on federal land. We've got to change that. We have a tremendous opportunity here in the U.S. to be energy independent. What we've also proposed coming out of our the HEAT group is to make sure that the processes that we have today to go after those great resources that are available to us, that we have incentives in place to make sure that we're able to go after the resources to be able to satisfy the need here. We've also, like I said before, have isolated parts of the energy area that, with the renewables, all of those things that are very, very important to us today. You know, one of the biggest projects that we can do that would create tens of thousands of jobs immediately over a period of time, well over 100,000 jobs, would be the Keystone Pipeline. To me, it is just a national disgrace again that we have not done that. These are really good paying jobs for the trades, mostly all union jobs, that would actually add dramatically to our energy independence, create jobs here over the long term. It's being held up simply for political reasons. That, to me, is extraordinarily unfortunate. The Keystone Project would, in fact, bring hundreds of millions, billions of dollars into our economy, help us grow and create those kind of jobs that we need today. There's another policy back in 2009 that the House of Representatives, and under the other party control, passed, was cap and trade. This was an ill-conceived idea that would cause great damage to us here in Iowa. When you look at what cap and trade would have done, as far as increasing our energy costs, Mid-American Energy said it would be 20 to 25% increase in our utility costs right here in Iowa. It would have been 50 cents a gallon as far as gasoline, as far as diesel fuel. Basically shut down a lot of our energy electrical production. We're 66% dependent on coal.